Hello and welcome to I Hit Drums. Today is for beginner pupils and teachers. We're going to be looking at how to navigate song structure. So if you're getting quite comfortable playing a few different grooves and you're about to tackle your first full song in written notation, then this is for you. We're going to be looking at how to navigate that, and also if you're a teacher, a few things that you could try to help your pupils navigate that piece. So if you're a pupil or teachers, if you want to help your pupils with this, we're going to break this down into three separate categories. And these are sections, lines, and bars. And we're going to go in that order. So sections are actually the biggest part of the piece. Lines slightly smaller and bars smaller still. So let's start with sections. The piece that we're going to use today in this example is called Oh Yeah and features in my book I Hit Drums, A Beginner's Guide. You can find this on my website www.ihitdrums.co.uk, and if you subscribe to the website you'll also get access to a free groove starter pack. Let's take a quick look at the piece. So you'll see this piece is broken down into three large sections, and these are labelled A, B and C. These sections won't always be marked with letters A, B, C, D. Sometimes they'll be marked as intro, which means the introduction section, or C for chorus, or V for verse. Sometimes you have pre-C, which is pre-chorus. Sometimes you'll have a solo, like a guitar solo or piano solo. Sometimes you'll have an outro as well. But this piece is broken down into A, B, C. So at the very end of section A, right before section B begins, you'll see a double line that's kind of cutting off the end of that section. That is telling you that the section is ending there. So as you're reading through a part, keep an eye out for that double line, because that's going to tell you that you're about to enter a new section. So section A starts at the very beginning of the piece and carries on down most of that first page. Once we hit the letter B, which you'll see in a small square, that's where section B begins, and this carries on over into the second page. And section C starts about a third of the way down the second page, and that takes us to the end of the piece. And the very end of the piece is marked with a thick line and a thinner line. So we still have that double line which is telling us that section is over, but also at the very end of the piece is the thicker line. So that's sections. They're the largest element within a song. Let's break that down into a slightly smaller chunk now. So if we look at section A, we'll see that within that we have 4 lines of music. So starting from the very top, if we're moving across left to right, much like you'd read a book, you've got one line, the second line, third line, fourth line, and then we hit section B. So how many lines has section B got? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 lines again for section B. Then finally section C also has 4 lines to it. So we can break these sections down into smaller chunks. Now even smaller than that, we can start looking at bars. Now if you've learned some grooves up to this point, you should know what a bar of music is. Now a bar is often just a single groove. So if you're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's a bar. Each line will have multiple bars within it. Sometimes that might be 2 bars, sometimes that might be 3 bars, sometimes 4 bars, sometimes more. If you look at the very first line of the piece, you'll actually see that there's 3 bars in this line. The first bar is empty, and then we have 2 bars, each with its own groove within it. In the second line, we have 2 bars. And you'll notice that once you get to the end of one bar and you start the next, you have a single line separating the two. And if you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and once you hit that line and you started the next bar, you start counting from 1 again. Now you may have noticed that at the start of almost every line there's a small number. So if you look at the second line of section A, you'll see there's a little number 4 at the start of that line. Now this is actually a bar number. So that tells you that the first bar in that line is bar number 4. And if we count from the very beginning, we've got the empty bar, that's bar 1. Then we've got a groove in bar 2, a groove in bar 3, and then the next line starts with bar 4. That's why we have that small number 4 at the start. If we look at the next line, we'll see a small number 6. This is because that second line of section A contains bars 4 and it contains bar 5. So the next bar in the next line is going to be bar 6. So let's look at section C. Can you find bar 20? There it is. So what bar is going to be next to that? Of course, bar 21. And then if you look at the line below that, you'll see bar 22. So we started with the large section, and then we went a bit smaller to the line, and then smaller still to the bars. So for teachers now, this is a way that you can help students navigate a piece very quickly and start to get comfortable working around a larger piece of music. So start by picking a bar. Now if you're in a group situation, let's say you're teaching multiple pupils, then I'd recommend you ask one pupil to pick a bar for another pupil, because this is going to mean that both pupils are actively looking at the piece and selecting bars based on the bar number. Let's say you have a pupil that picks bar 3. The next pupil now has to find bar 3 and play it for you. So they're practicing the groove, but they're also looking for the bar number within the piece. Now they won't see a number 3, and this can be confusing at first, because number 3 isn't actually numbered on the page. So you can help them with this. They can either look for bar number 4, which is nearest after it, and then work backwards. Or in this case, they can just count from the beginning, 1, 2, 3. If you get a slightly trickier number, like 21, then encourage them to find the nearest number. In this case, bar 20. From there, the bar next to that is going to be bar 21. So once your pupils, or if you are the pupil, once you're getting comfortable finding these bars on an individual basis, it's time to try and play a slightly larger chunk. So this time, I want you to pick a line. Now, you can also use the sections here to help you with this. So I might say to a pupil, let's play the first line of section C. Now that encourages the pupil to not only find section C, but also to find the first line of section C. Likewise, you could say, let's play the third line of section B. Now in this case, that's going to be the top of the second page. So you could also say, play the first line of page 2, and that would be the same thing. So now your pupils are going to be playing 2 bars instead of 1, or if you are the pupil, you're now playing a longer section. You're playing 2 bars of groove instead of just a single bar. Once that starts to all come together, it's time to go a bit bigger still, and now actually work on playing through whole sections. So at this point, if you're the teacher, you maybe say, play section B, or even half of section B, because the pupil's now going to have to work out how many lines there are and play half of that. Once the pupil is comfortable playing each of the sections of the song, it's time to start putting those sections together. Now, what often happens when students practice is that they'll practice section A, they'll practice section B, and they'll practice section C, and those are going well. But at no point has a pupil thought about going from A into B, or from B into C. So before you try and play the whole piece, what I'd recommend you do is actually play the last line of section A going into the first line of section B. Likewise, play the last line of section B going straight into the first line of section C. And that's going to take care of those transition points. Once they're all good and the individual sections are good, the pupil or yourself should now be ready to try the whole song. Now, initially, you might find that your focus starts to wane a little bit as you work through that piece, and that's totally normal. So just concentrate on getting as far as you can initially. The more you try this, the further you'll get with the piece. And it's not going to happen in a single day. It might take a week before you can play the whole piece all the way through. It might take even longer. So be patient with yourself. So whether you're a pupil or a teacher, I hope that's helped give you some ideas for navigating your first song and getting more comfortable working around and navigating those different areas within a new piece. Now, the song that we looked at today features in my book, A Beginner's Guide. You can find this on my website, www.ihitdrums.co.uk. If you subscribe to the website, you can also get access to a free groove starter pack. All the songs within my book also come with backing tracks at varying speeds. So although the full speed for Oh Yeah is 90 BPM, you can also access backing tracks starting from 40 BPM, 50, 60, 70 and 80. So regardless of the speed that you're able to play the song at, you can still play along with music. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below and be sure to subscribe to the channel to be updated with future videos. Until next time, enjoy!